This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And Wyoming Sports Talk Today being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Of course, at Mondello's, Paisan cuisine at its best for almost 5 decades now. And again, Joe's Pizza, ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network, folks. Why? A, it's that good. B, everything is fresh, always delicious, and prepared properly. They know how to do pizza, especially at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, it's First Tier Bank, where they have some sensational CD rates going on right now. So talk with the great crew over there, and again, whatever amount of cash you want to put into that CD, they're going to find the perfect rate for you today. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Yes, I know they've been busy because of our wonderful weather and little dings and dents and chips on windows and everything else. We understand that. But again, Heather and her great staff are always there to support you. Give them a call. You need their services, 634-6608. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center are both part of Lennox Enterprises. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And what do they sell? Well, on the appliance side, like Frigidaire, GE, Maytag, Whirlpool. And you haven't checked out their TV selection? Well, check out some of the flat screens that they have for you today at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs and more by shopping inside. See Gene and the great staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Or if you're in a hurry, use the convenient drive-thru, and they'll get you in, get you out. That's how fast they do things over at Medicap Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field, and Menards, serving up 3 delicious squares. If you haven't had breakfast lately, please do so. Their hash brown scramble bowl, a must-try, with a delicious piping cup of hot coffee. And again, they have their mac and cheese, their delicious chicken sandwiches. Chick-fil-A, 2 convenient drive-thrus or dine inside Monday through Saturday, right across from Powers Field and Menards at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between. See Rick and the great staff over on Vanda High and, of course, the East Side location, corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way with the 2020s are on the lot. AJ's got some holiday deals going on right now. Kick a few tires, take home a Kia of your liking today. Matter of fact, to make it look really nice for Christmas, put a big red bow around it, too, because you deserve to do that. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. The locations, South Greeley Highway. Yeah, with their new satellite location. You're going to like that one over there. It's primed and ready to rock and roll for you. They also have for you downtown on KRAE Avenue, Yellowstone Road, at the corner of Del Range and Ridge, and at the corner of Pershing and Ridge. There's no excuse why you shouldn't have Taco John's in your tum-tum today. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway. Scoreboard time is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick.
NHL action for tonight. 3 games on the slate. We'll start with the New Jersey Devils at home. They will host the Anaheim Ducks. Later on tonight at 6 o'clock, you can watch this game on NBC Sports Network, as it will be the Chicago Blackhawks at United Center hosting the Colorado Avalanche in a battle of Central Division foes. And last but not least, in St. Louis, the Blues hosting the Edmonton Oilers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight. And do want to remind folks, coming up tomorrow here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming on Periscope, via Twitter, and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have our first high school action, at least basketball-wise, for both girls and boys action, as we will see Cheyenne Central in action. Girls up first as they play at least Loveland, the Lady Indians, at Northridge High School down there in Greeley, Colorado. 3 o'clock is the scheduled tip time there for that contest. After that game wraps up, boys action between Cheyenne Central and in Loveland. Again, games happening there at Northridge High School in Greeley, Colorado. So again, we will have boys and girls basketball action happening here tomorrow on 1480 KRAE, as it is a part of that Round Ball Invitational happening in Greeley, Colorado.
NBA scoreboard, Bulls and the Wizards tonight at the Cap One Arena in D.C. It's the Hornets and the Cavaliers at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. In the Wells Fargo Center in Philly, it will be the 76ers hosting the Heat, Raptors, Pistons in the Little Caesars Arena, Pelicans, Timberwolves in the Target Center, Grizz, Thunder at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. Nuggets tonight will be in the Can at the Pepsi Center. They host the Orlando Magic. Celtics and the Mavs at the American Airlines Center. Let's see who the Warriors are going to lose to tonight. Warriors will be in the Moda Center to take on the Portland Trail Blazers. On tap for the program today, in just a couple of moments, we'll talk with Troy Coverdale, the voice of the University of Northern Colorado Bears. We'll also have post-game comments from head coach Gerald Mattinson of the Wyoming Cowgirls as they took on the Zags last night of Gonzaga at the Arena Auditorium. And we also have for you Cody Tucker. He'll be joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. He's the founder of 7220sports.com. And again, we got a Power Pack show headed your way. Back after this word from Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more.
Continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
It's the time of year when sights and sounds remind us it's the holiday season. Hi, I'm Rick Flood with Platte Valley Bank. During this holiday season, may you be surrounded by the family and friends you hold dear, and may your heart be filled with Christmas cheer. At Platte Valley Bank, we are thankful for the relationships we have built with our customers and community. Best wishes for a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful and happy New Year from everyone at Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOI-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOI. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny skies with highs around 47 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 18. On Thursday, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 39. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
That lazy and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Proetti. Along with Nick Proetti, we bring on our first guest. He is Troy Coverdale, the voice of the UNC Bears. All right, Troy, I don't profess to know everything, and after Coach Collins, Ernest Collins Jr. got the heave-ho on the 24th after 9 seasons going 28-72, and again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that's only 28% win percentage. The timeline from the 24th through December 12th, I can make excuses and say I was tied up with basketball with Laramie County Community College, but hey, Ed McCaffrey, that one shocked me. Were you guys in the know on this?
No, actually, it's rather humorous because as I was discussing last night with a couple of people at the UNC basketball game, as Coach McCaffrey was there last night, really none of us had an inkling that it was going to be him until maybe between about 10 and 1 the day that the announcement was made. It was very late in the game, in fact, that I started to pick up on his name and had to do a double take and go, wait a minute, where is this coming from? Because that wasn't the indication that we were getting just in talking with people. But as we got later and later into the afternoon, I was told, make sure you're seated when you get the information. I'm like, okay, so this will be big. Just didn't expect it to be that name.
And again, surprising coming out of at least in northern Colorado, where you had CSU and UNC looking for head coaches on the football side of things. That UNC, at least on paper, came out the clear winner, at least had the bigger name with Ed McCaffrey now being the new head coach. But before we look to the future for UNC with the Bears football program, but let's look to the past with Ernest Collins Jr. Again, 8 seasons with the Bears, 100 games under his belt, at least from 2011 to 2019, and as you mentioned, 28-72 overall. What were the takeaways, or what was the overall theme of the era for Ernest Collins Jr.? They are part of UNC.
Well, it's one of the things that will always stand out, and it's been discussed how many times over, and that is that Ernest is a great man. He's a tremendous person and has the right things in place with what this program was, save for wins and losses. And that's what it came down to finally, is that wins and losses overtook everything else that he was asked to do in terms of where he built that program to in the community, in the classroom, all of those things he did a great job with. And you know that he cared deeply about each and every one of those players that was on his roster. It just didn't play out the way that you want it to in that situation when you start adding the wins and losses to the situation. And it's heartbreaking because I think the world of EC, and it's going to stink going forward that he's not a part of this program. But, the fact remains is that in many ways he was given 3 more years probably than maybe he should have been given by virtue of the fact that you had a change in presidency at UNC take place, and that bought him 1 full year specifically with the new president then coming in a year ago. Well, he wasn't in a position really to feel like that he wanted to assess, so he gave it another year. So you factor the retirement of Kay Norton and the bringing in of Andy Feinstein as president, and that was 3 years, maybe 3 years longer, than maybe Ernest would have gotten otherwise.
We're talking with Troy Coverdale, voice of the UNC Bears. Troy, let's go back to Ed McCaffrey. Of course, we already know he's the pop of Christian McCaffrey, Stanford grad and current NFL pro with the Carolina Panthers and making a name for himself in the NFL, as did Ed McCaffrey. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings, 2 with the Broncos and 1 with our beloved 49ers. So let's talk about Ed McCaffrey, the coach. Now, we know he's been at Valor Christian, if I'm not mistaken, the head coach there in Highlands Ranch. So let's talk about that resume from high school, now moving up to the UNC Bears.
Well, it makes for an interesting move. You're absolutely right, especially when you consider that he's been in the Valor position for just 2 years. But he had coached a lot of these youngsters in Little League before electing to step aside and watch his kids predominantly through their college days, or at least Christian through college, and then move back into the game as a coach at the high school level when Valor was in need of a coach a couple of years back. How that's going to equate to what goes on at UNC is going to be interesting to watch and see. He did comment to me last night in our conversation that we had that football is football no matter the level that you are talking about. But there's still going to be a little bit of a learning curve, even for a guy who's been around the game as much as he has. He's in the process of determining who his assistants will be. I've caught wind of potentially as many as 3 assistants on the staff that would stay. And if that's the case, that's from an experience standpoint, probably to help that transition moving from high school to this level. Beyond that, though, the fact remains is it's an aggressive move in many ways that, you brought up Colorado State. Well, UNC won on the PR side of it. The question is going to be, are they going to be able to turn that into success on the field? What does it mean for the other things that need to be addressed within the program, facilities being first and foremost when it comes to that as well?
Again, as you mentioned with Nottingham Field, where, again, with Ed McCaffrey, he is well known up and down the Front Range. Again, whether it was being with the Denver Broncos, getting Super Bowls with them, being a part of the NFL, and also to what he did in Highlands Ranch, at least in the state of Colorado. But, as we look at Nottingham Field, which, again, as you're talking about, needs that improvement, needs that upgrades, but, for the past couple seasons, attendance has been well below at least average there for at least, for what UNC has been at least kind of putting on the field, so to speak, down there in Greeley. Was this also to a move by at least the athletic department to bring in a brand name, a big name, a well-known name there in the state of Colorado to get those Greeley fans or Front Range fans out to go see a UNC Bears team led by Ed McCaffrey?
No, it's exactly a reason why you make a move like that. In the case of the Bears, there was a lot of apathy as it came out to the football program at this point because Ernest had been in place for 9 years. You were looking for something to jazz everybody up and get them excited again about UNC football, and that hire does exactly that. You're right. It is going to sell tickets. And at that process, then it becomes easier to sell making facility upgrades and being able to gain help when it comes to doing all of the varying things that need to take place to build this program and to be able to keep pace with what others are doing in the Big Sky Conference.
Troy, I looked at your 3 early signings for today. Now, were these recruited by Ernest Collins?
They were, but 2 of those 3 were specifically in town over the weekend for official visits, and so that gave McCaffrey the opportunity to meet with them. All of the staffers for Coach Collins have been in place still through the month of November and December, so they were able to continue the recruiting process even though it wasn't clear as to who the next head coach was going to be. So it was move forward, status quo for the time being, until you know who the new boss is going to be. Then we'll be making decisions from there. So all 3 of them were actively recruited here during the recent stretch, and all 3 are on board in part because, well, they also happen to like Coach McCaffrey.
Now, let's talk about Coach McCaffrey now, the recruiter. And again, as you mentioned, he's retaining some of Ernest Collins' staff with him to, help during this transition period. But let's talk about Ed McCaffrey, obviously a name in Colorado. And again, too, as Nick mentioned, he's going to be able to sell some tickets. But as a recruiter, what doors does Ed McCaffrey open? Does he open California, being a former 49er, and his son going to Stanford? What's the big recruiting ticket behind Ed McCaffrey?
It definitely makes a change along the Front Range, even more so than what UNC was accomplishing in terms of Colorado players. There's no doubt about that. I know of one commit that has taken place, though he's waiting to make it verbally to the public until after an event comes up in January, because he wants to participate in that event. But there's a 4-star recruit out there, at least, that is telling myself and a couple of other people with ties to the program that he is going to commit to UNC because of Ed McCaffrey. And it will be a surprising one if you look at the accomplishments that this young man had in high school. So there's going to be some of that go on, absolutely. What it does in other states, that's a great question, but it's pretty hard not to argue when you've got a coach who had the NFL career that Ed had and has Christian to help him out, if you will, in terms of name recognition. It was funny on the day that he was introduced, as he said, around the guys, he's Coach McCaffrey, or probably better known as Christian's dad.
Without a doubt. At least, final question regarding, at least on the football side of things, with new head coach Ed McCaffrey, as we're talking about, and we had the same question yesterday regarding CSU and new head coach Steve Adazio. We'll ask the same question here for new head coach Ed McCaffrey with UNC. Right now for the athletic department, is there expectations to win immediately with head coach Ed McCaffrey, or have they outlined to fans and to that staff saying, we anticipate that this might be a slow build, and we're not expecting anything, overnight to happen and jump up top the Big Sky Conference?
I think everybody understands that it's going to take a little bit of work before you can say that this program gets to the top of the Big Sky Conference. This next year is going to be the honeymoon phase. And if you come away with a record that's above 500, you've gone probably beyond maybe even what people will expect at the start of next season. I don't know that you're going to catch exactly the lightning in the bottle that Sacramento State was able to catch, only because you don't have the same type of roster structure that they did. Being able to go from just a couple of wins last season to the FCS playoffs this year, they had a ton of experience returning, and Troy Taylor was able to take advantage of that and turn that into the positive. UNC's roster remains very young going into next year, and so I think there's going to have to be some growth there. If this program winds up around 500, those will be the steps that I think that at least show us that this could turn in a couple of years. Whether it takes longer than that, we'll see, but I think everybody understands that it's going to take a little bit of time, not be an immediate change.
Troy, real quick, let's turn it over to Hoops, and wanted to chat about that. As right now the Golden Bears, 4 out of their last 5, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep, and riding a 3-game winning streak as they head to Sioux Falls to close out the pre-conference portion of the schedule. They'll play South Dakota on Friday night. 2 big wins in this stretch, as we saw the Bears beat Wyoming the other night in Laramie, 3rd straight year to do that, which is practically unheard of for a non-conference team to go in and do that in Laramie. And then last night, really a workmanlike effort and able to get past what was a poorly officiated ball game on both ends of it to be able to take a win over DU, which is also the 3rd straight in the series now for UNC, matched up with the Pioneers. So 2 very good wins against Front Range rivals, just adding to it right now as the Bears get themselves ready for conference coming up in a couple weeks.
And I apologize, I said Cal Golden Bears. Anyway, my point is, though, going back to the wins here, and again, your last 3 have been going away. Obviously, Northern New Mexico, not the caliber of the D1 teams that you played. But you look at Wyoming. I mean, you beat them by 21. You beat the Pioneers by 22. Let me ask you this: a little bit of surprise, or is this team a lot better than we are looking at the 6-4 record?
This team is a lot better than probably what you're looking at, especially when you consider that that three of those losses that the Bears have were to teams that either are in the Power Fives or were NCAA teams of a season ago. The Bears suffering the loss at West Virginia, but yet that was a tie ball game with 6 minutes to play. They suffered the loss at Texas to open the season, but really if it was a matter of just hitting shots, they could have put themselves out to the victory. They just did not get shots to fall that night, did all the other little things well, and were competitive with Texas. And then the other loss that's in that mix that was a NCAA team last year, Gardner-Webb, a team that actually is better than probably what their record showed when the two teams matched up in Cancun, and a team that rode through their conference tournament last year on a high to get to the NCAA tournament and played well in their opening round game in the NCAA. So three of those losses you chalk up to that, and then you throw in Northern Iowa, which came into Boulder and beat CU, and that's a Northern Iowa team that UNC took to overtime in Cedar Falls. So the four losses have been against very high-caliber competition.
And again, the one win that at least fans up here in the state of Wyoming that was very interested to see. Again, as you mentioned, the three-peat happening there in Laramie again at the AA 3 years in a row. A little tongue-in-cheek kind of question for you, Troy, but I mean, did UNC, the Bears team, sign a long, at least term contract with the Wyoming Cowboys to just play year in and year out up there at the AA since they're having so much success over there in Laramie?
Well, the surprising aspect of that is that the series was to have ended last year, and there was another contract that came into being for that. So we'll see how things play out. Alan Edwards has some work to do, I know, in developing that roster right now, and you would think that they would continue the series, but there may be some Wyoming fans who would like to see it go bye-bye for a little while, at least until the roster settles out a little better for Wyoming.
There's many empty seats that may not want to see the head coach around there much longer either. Let me ask you this here, Troy, and I'm not being tongue-in-cheek on that. What did you see? Because we have an idea of the Wyoming Cowboys, but you called the game, you saw it. What did you see as some of the problems that the Cowboys have on the court this year?
The biggest problem that I can see is that you've got a number of inexperienced guys that are going to take their lumps through the course of this season as they gain that experience. And there isn't a go-to like there has been in the past. And right now, it's a matter of putting it all together, and I don't think that Allen has been able to do that. But there's also just the aspect that right now UNC may, in the grand scheme of things, have more talent than what Wyoming does. Now, does that youth develop for Wyoming? I think it will. I think that the right coaches are in place, and we will see how it goes from there. But it could be a long year. I don't argue that for Wyoming one bit. But does it turn next year is going to be the question. And I think they've got the capability to do that. It's just going to come with some lumps taken this year.
Well, Troy, we want to thank you very much for joining us and updating us on Coach McCaffrey and of course, the basketball side. So, again, we wish you all the best and have some exciting calls basketball season-wise.
Thank you, guys. Always glad to join you.
Troy Coverdale, voice of the UNC Bears, join us here on 1480 KRAE. We're going to take a timeout. We are going to get post-game comments from UW women's basketball coach, Cowgirl basketball coach Gerald Mattinson, after their loss last night to Gonzaga, and we'll have that coming up after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to the biggest thing in tacos since tacos. Introducing the Taco Perfecto from Taco John's. That's right, we said it. Perfecto. That's Spanish for perfect. We redesigned it with an aerodynamic shell to give you the best bite every bite. Choose between seasoned to perfection beef, chili lime chicken, or upgrade to hand-carved sirloin steak. Sure, it was hard to perfect, but it's easy to eat. The Taco Perfecto from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for 49 years. Not only do we offer several major brands, we also service what we sell. And we have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Drives remain competitive and offer some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
You said after the Colorado game, you take a defensive performance like that any time the way they play against this really good offensive team, Gerald. Holding them to 65 points, did you feel like you got the defensive effort again that you needed against this really talented team offensively?
Yeah, I mean that's not our problem. Actually, it hasn't been our problem. I thought all year long we've played pretty solid defensively. I think each game we get a little bit better defensively. What we're doing is at key times we're missing scouts. We're missing what we're doing defensively at a couple of key times. And those breakdowns against a team like this, it costs you. And I can go back and look at film, and I can find a breakdown and go, that was either a 2 and a 1 or was a made basket. And that's why they're the 17th ranked team in the country, because they take advantage of those kinds of things. But overall, really pleased with our defensive effort. I'm pleased with the way we battled the whole game. I mean, we battled. We just came up short.
How much did their length affect you guys offensively?
A great deal.
It was everything.
It was everything. It was great. That's what we talked about. We can't simulate that. I mean, that's what people don't understand. It's not like we had a lot of time to prepare for them anyway, but we can't simulate the quickness and the length that they're bringing at us. And that's not just even on the inside kids. That's their perimeter players. When you look at the length, and when I talk about length, I'm talking about some of their players' arms got to be 34, 35 inches long. I mean, they're long. That makes the passing lanes tough. It allows them to be able to bait you on passes. They do a really good job with that, where all of a sudden you're going, okay, I know Coach said I can't throw that pass, but it looks like it's open, and they're quicker and longer than you think, and the next thing you know, that pass is gone. And their length, their athleticism, especially early, bothered us some. But we adjusted a little bit, and like I said, I mean, we wore down today. I knew that they were going to be deeper than us. I knew their size was going to wear us down a little bit. Then we got tired, but our kids battled, and I think I'd have to go back through the thing, but at the about 7 minute mark or so, they could have gone up another 15, But, I think we actually cut it to 8 at one point. So our kids got back into it, and, that's what you want. I mean, you don't want to quit.
How big do you think their ability to push the ball and score in transition was?
I thought at the right time when they got tired in the second half, it helped. It helped us, but that's also why they scored 10 points or 12 or whatever it is under their scoring average is the same reason New Mexico did, and so on and so forth, is because for most of the game we controlled the offensive pace at what we wanted to play with, so it limits the number of possessions that they have. And then I thought at a point when I thought, okay, we need to turn it loose a little bit. Actually, when we kind of turned it loose, started doing the transition, that's when it kind of went from 12 to, I think, 18 or so on us pretty quick because we weren't converting at first. Then we got them in foul trouble, and then I thought the transition helped us because we were able to attack the basket, and they either had to let us go or they made some fouls. And, I thought in the fourth quarter when we were able to get to the foul lines starting pretty early and we played aggressive, that allowed us to score points and milk the clock without having to, burn the clock and trying to get longer sets and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's certain teams you can transition against more, and there's certain teams you can't. The 17th ranked team in the country is a little hard to push the ball against for 40 minutes.
I know Carla, her numbers struggle at the field. Is that more of what they did as opposed to you're okay with the shots and everything? That's the stuff she usually does, right?
It's the stuff she usually does, and for the last 2 games, that's not going in, and that I don't have an answer for. I mean, that's just something that, you got to focus in, you got to hit that shot, you got to do what you got to do, and I thought I can't remember every shot. I thought there was probably a couple shots I'm probably not happy with, but I thought for the most part, it's like you said, that's what Carla does. And so sometimes you kind of have to live with it, and you kind of have to die with it. But we got to get those numbers better. That's 4-23 in the last 2 games. We got to get that. We got to get those numbers better in order for us to be successful.
Even with all their size, they only out-rebounded you guys by 4. I mean, that's effort right there. What do you just have to say about your girls?
Yeah, like I said, I'm pleased with our effort. I mean, we got a 3-player in Alba, out there playing her heart out against a 6'3", probably going to be an two probably all West Coast Conference post players. And then, like I said, it doesn't get any easier with the kids that come in at the 4 and 5 for them. So, I thought we battled. I thought we scrapped. I thought we did everything that we could do. Obviously, we needed to make a few more baskets at a couple of key times. But like I said, they weathered the storm too. You got to give a lot of credit to Gonzaga. They're well coached. They execute, like I said, and they're talented. And they came up here today, and you know what? They rotated kids, and they got the bench and the depth to do that. Right now, we don't have the bench and the depth to do that, and that's another thing when people say, well, maybe we need to push the ball a little bit more because we're at altitude. I don't have the depth to do that right now because even though we're at altitude, we get tired too, and so that becomes sometimes an issue. But I'm pleased with our effort. I mean, I'm really pleased with our effort. I'm disappointed in the loss. Somebody can go, well, they're the 17th ranked team in the country. I don't really care about that. I want to beat whoever we play. Last 2 games that hasn't happened for us.
At 6 and 5 now, you're heading into the full swing of conference play, which you already have 2 road wins. You knew it was going to be an up and down type of year at times. What do you feel? Do you have a good gauge? Do you have a good feeling of what this team is heading into the bulk of conference play?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a good gauge of what we are offensively. I have a good gauge of how hard we're going to play. I have a good gauge of what we are defensively. I don't know what we are offensively sometimes because once again, I mean, we can look at the way we shot the ball at Albuquerque. We can look at the way we shot the ball, against Mississippi Valley. We can look at, and then all of a sudden we show up and it's like we can't shoot the ball. It's the same shots, it's the same action. So we got to get a better feel of what we're doing offensively, and we got to become more consistent offensively with, making the shots that are given to us. And I think the other thing tonight, now a lot of that will be in the fourth quarter. I'm sure when I look back, I'm not happy we gave up 16 free throws. They went 16 to 16, but at least tonight we got to the free throw line 16 times. And we haven't been doing that this year. And that's been one of the emphasis we've been putting on in practice. And, we're doing it in practice. We're getting more aggressive in practice. But it hasn't carried over until tonight a little bit, and then especially in the fourth quarter. And then a couple of times it had to be, hey, you got to take the ball to the basket and do it, because we needed those fouls. And it's like, well, we're having a hard time understanding why we're going to the basket in some cases, I guess. If I look back and I look at this tape, it's not always going to the basket to try to get a shot up. Sometimes it's going to the basket to draw contact. Sometimes it's going to the basket to draw multiple defenders, and then we kick it out and see what happens from there. So yeah, we gotta. Sounds like a long time, but we don't have a long time, because we're going to give our kids some days off so they can go with their family and friends and spend some Christmas. So we're gonna take light practices, basically shooting and some conditioning, just to get their minds off of finals for Thursday and Friday, and then we're taking off till the 28th. So we'll come back and get ready for another really, really good team that presents some of the same issues we just talked about with Boise State. So that's where we're at.
Maria Mondello. First and most importantly, thank you for your past and present patronage. Your business is not forgotten and is truly appreciated. This is the season of peace on earth and goodwill to men. So from Joe Mondello and everyone at La Osteria Mondello, 1507 Stillwater Avenue in Cheyenne, they want to take this time to wish you a Buon Natale, a Buon Anno. Thank you for dining local. La Osteria Mondello is truly blessed to have you as a friend and valued customer.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
It's that time of year. The air turns colder, clothes get warmer, and generosity is contagious for all who are near. Hi, this is Rick Flood with Platte Valley Bank. During this holiday season, we reflect on what's important. The relationships we've built with our customers and community is the foundation of our success. With grateful hearts, Platte Valley Bank would like to wish you and your family a wonderful holiday season and a new year filled with peace and happiness.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny skies with highs around 47 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 18. On Thursday, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 39. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
Last night with the loss to the Lady Zags, or Lady Bulldogs, whatever you want to call them, about 2,400 and change showing up in the arena auditorium. So, the steady fan base for the Cowgirls is always there.
Well, also, too, it helps that Gonzaga is also, too, a ranked, at least, opponent on the women's side of things. So, again, that's going to draw. It's a big name. So, again, opportunity. Roads were decent last night. So, again, Cowgirls have always had good fan base, or at least a consistent fan base. Mm-hmm. They've also, too, been consistent on the winning side of things. So, outside of last night's loss, which, again, you kind of shake away because it is a nationally ranked opponent that was in the AA. But other than that, though, again, Cowgirls, no surprise, at least on the attendance, doing well. They're one of the more, at least, well-off attended, at least, teams in the Mountain West Conference on the women's side of things. So it was no surprise that attendance was there, at least last night.
All right, so tonight in the AA, and let's put it into perspective. The last time Utah Valley won, they're currently in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, was 25 days ago.
But they do stand at 4-8 overall.
And the Wyoming Cowboys, last time they won was 27 days ago, overtime, against the University of Louisiana.
Which Cowboys are 3-8 overall in this contest coming up tonight. Tip-off time there at the AA for this contest, if anyone really cares at this point. 7 o'clock there to see that contest where, yes, Utah Valley on the road in the AA, which is no longer the Dome of Doom at this point in time. UNC has kind of proved that, as we mentioned, they got the three-peat at least 3 years in a row running for UNC to get at least a win there at AA. At least going back to this contest, Utah Valley is favored to win this game. Would not be surprised if they do win this game.
Yeah, it's a 2.5-point favorite right now to win. A couple weeks ago, didn't we come on air and say that
they should beat Utah Valley?
Even the matchup predictor said, hey, the Cowboys should win this.
You got a shot, but I don't think so at this point in time. Again,
it's up in the air. This is a pick-em game.
I think your final contest, or at least victory for Wyoming here in 2019, is probably that Nebraska Wesleyan contest that's on December 28th there at the AA. Again, Wesleyan, you should defeat them. But again, wackier things have happened with this Cowboys team where we saw last season a game that at least the lone Cowboy game I attended last season, due to the fact that we are on the road with LCCC in high school basketball. But again, they allowed a D3 team to push them to the limit. No D3 team has ever beat the Cowboys in the AA, but at least the Utah team from last year at least almost did it. So would not be surprised. Again, Cowboys, yes, are that bad. As Droy was talking about, at least they don't have that figurehead, or at least that
go-to guy.
That go-to guy. Well, they're supposed to be, or at least there was one name of Hunter Maldonado to be that kind of guy to lead.
He's supposed to be the floor leader, and that's about it.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who's going to pump in 30
But there's no one you can really rely on this team that's going to get it done for you night in, night out. We understand that right now. That's why the Cowboys sit right now 3-8. They are tied with San Jose State of being one of the worst teams in the Mountain West Conference.
And the question is, can they even beat San Jose?
I don't think so. I
talked to a friend of mine last night about this, and he's been a season ticket holder for many years. By the way, the matchup predictor, just in case, they're already handing the win to the Cowboys. It's like a 99 to 1% that.
Yet, how is Utah Valley favored?
Yeah. Well, obviously they've really dissected this one.
Yeah.
This one with Nebraska Wesleyan said, no, they shouldn't even play the Cowboys. But anyway, talking to this friend of mine last night, and we go back a long way. They ended up leaving. Because road conditions were not great when they ended up leaving the other night. Basically, the brand of basketball is not good. It's not entertaining. And again, I'm not knocking Coach Edwards. I'm just saying, hey, You're not bringing butts to the seats.
He's got a young, inexperienced team that is not getting it done. We're seeing the same thing here in town with LCCC
but
right
you're
now.
also having people leave you. They're not sticking around for the whole game because the product is not good from the get-go.
Well, again, you're not going to dole out that money, especially around Christmas time, where again cash might be a little bit scrapped for a lot of families. Again, as you're what are you focused on? More buying gifts or spending money to go see a terrible Cowboys team where you got to travel, pay for gas, pay for parking, all this and that to see a team that
if you're
probably not going to win.
If you're a season ticket holder, you're not even showing up either.
That's true,
and that's proof. That is proof.
Again, if you're not living in Laramie, you're a season ticket holder, though. You still got to pay a price to travel, across, where winds are an issue on I-80, wherever you're heading in from. Weather is questionable. Late night games during the week as well. It's understandable. This is a team you're not going to sacrifice day in and night out, so to speak, to go over to Laramie, go travel 45 miles if you're here in Cheyenne, and watch this team.
Well, and again, too, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Even Troy said this, young, inexperienced team. Weren't we a young, inexperienced team last year, even though we had Justin James?
You were young. You were younger.
And weren't we young and inexperienced a year before that?
Yeah, you certainly could say that.
With
Justin
Adams.
James, yeah.
So, it's not like we've had veteran talent. Yeah, they may be a year older now, but again, we're throwing this all in the lap of youth.
If anything, it tells you that your recruiting class by one Alan Edwards did not work. It's proven that it's not working right now.
It hasn't worked for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Since the CIT victory, which again makes you the 150th best in the nation.
Probably 200 because you're behind the CBI and the NIT.
And what did you do? You ended up losing money to be a champion.
Yeah.
But the point is, what have you done to enhance this basketball program? Now, in your eyes and in your mind, and when you've gone and talked to these student athletes to come to the University of Wyoming, they look good. They've probably sent you great video clips as well. Their greatest hits.
Well, again, that's with any college. That's with any JUCO, D1, D3, D2, whatever it may be, NAIA. You're sending your highlights. You're not going to show them, hey, I have this struggle going to my left, or on a rebound, I'm subpar around that.
But I don't want, and again, I'm not going to diss on Hunter Thompson. The kids, from Pine Bluffs. Yeah, we're glad that he's, a University of Wyoming Cowboy.
It's good that you have the local products.
What did he play in? He didn't play in Class 4A.
1A.
He didn't play in Class 3A.
Yeah.
As you said, 1A.
They were champions, but again, it is Class 1A where, again,
the talent level falls quite a bit off the table, doesn't it?
Yeah, 1A, I think that Pine Bluffs team would not compete with a Cheyenne East or any of the 4As here.
Ask Lawson Lovering. He's been the tall guy here for the last couple 3 seasons, inexperienced, and now since he's got a couple of years of AAU under his belt,
he's developing into a superstar.
And he's only a junior.
Yeah,
he's going to be something, and he's playing Class 4A basketball where, guess what? Defenses sag on him all the time.
You're playing against bigger kids,
stronger, faster teams.
Again, we know that from the Sheridan Bronx teams where they got some big guys and some big bodies.
They push you around.
Yeah, they're pretty much just like a JUCO out there where, again, that's what you're going to anticipate playing in the college ranks.
And again, too, he's going to, he's done the verbal commit, which, kind of takes a little pressure off him and his family. And Coach Lane doesn't have to, shield him from the press, so to speak. But they're going down to play Loveland tomorrow, okay? Now, again, Loveland is of the big class. I think it's, Class 5A basketball?
You would assume so.
Okay. So, again, bigger, stronger, maybe faster than Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah.
So,
and they're going to get tested. This is a team right now that sits 3-0 on the boys' side of things. That's going to get tested in this round ball tournament, at least invitational, but it's nothing new for Cheyenne Central. They've been here before.
But again, as we talked a little bit yesterday, Lovering in the middle. On the wings are your Storebro twins. You got Talich at one guard. I can't remember the other kid's name. Who's
Johnson?
No, the other kid that's the comeback. He was with the Tag last year. Anyway, because I haven't followed high school basketball that much. Point being, this is going to be a very big team that Central is bringing down. Physical team.
Yeah.
Smart team. Athletic team. So will they give Loveland all they can handle tomorrow? Probably.
I think without a doubt. You might see Central, I won't say cruise through to the championship game, but they might have a pretty good route to get there.
I think tomorrow, if they get tested in this tournament, this will be their biggest test tomorrow.
Again, as you look, Cheyenne is the only representing team out of the state of Wyoming, at least Central. Again, a part of this round ball invitational, you have the likes of Greeley Central, Greeley West, Kennedy, Mountain View, Northridge, Fruita Monument, and also to Loveland. Again, that's on the girls' side of things. Boys bracket, you look at same with Greeley West, Greeley Central, Fort Collins, Mountain View, Northridge, Fruita Monument, and again Loveland, part of the boys bracket. So at least Central trying to showcase their talents against those 5A, at least Northern Colorado, or at least Colorado schools, a part of this invitational, this at least Christmas tournament that they're competing in, coming up at least starting tomorrow, Friday, and then championship games on both the loser side of the bracket and winner side happening on Saturday.
So, and again, with the Indians, and again, I'm trying to get the guys here, the roster, because it's going to drive me nuts now, because I know Coach Lang was very high on his returners that he has here. Let's see. No, that's not that one. And if I'm not mistaken, too, I think one of the kids, McClary, the football player, I think he's injured right now, so he's not on the roster for the Indians, but. Here nor there.
We'll find out more information.
Stampley? Am I thinking Stampley?
Ryan Stampley, yeah, that is the name.
Yeah, because he's a senior. So, anyway, my point being, this to me, tomorrow's game is going to be their test. Because, again, you're going up against what I would feel is a bigger conference and a stronger conference.
Well, it's a step up, yeah, without a doubt, compared to Wyoming competition. This is at least stepping up that game.
And going back again to Hunter Thompson. Thompson playing D1. And congratulations to him. Unfortunately, he in 3 seasons now, because he was redshirted.
Yeah.
So he was redshirt freshman last year. He's a sophomore this year. 6'11". That usually bodes pretty well for
And he's not even your lead rebounder.
And he's not a center.
Yeah, he's not even your lead rebounder for being at that height right now for the Wyoming Cowboys. It's a serious situation right now where it begs at least the question. Is it on Coach Allen Edwards, at least his recruiting, his scouts? Did he select the wrong players to come to the University of Wyoming? Is that what we're seeing? Is it his offense? Is it his defensive schemes? Again, we now see that this is a completely new Cowboys team on the floor. This is now a defensive-minded team, no longer a team that was set their sights on scoring the three-pointer, or at least basically launching it from behind the arc and trying to at least pray and hope that, that's how they're going to get wins.
But how good is the defense, Nick? I mean, really.
It's when you're slowing down Colorado to 15.5, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but
that's pretty impressive.
You still gave up 74 to UNC.
Yeah, again, it's inconsistent, but that defense, when it's good, can slow down the best.
Okay, so it could
15 points and a half. That's not the again. If the offense was there, you probably could have pulled off that upset.
I'll give you that, but when you are not matching offensively,
yeah, when you have no offense, yeah, without a doubt.
So what good is the defense if you're holding teams like you said at Colorado?
It's what you got last year in football of what we talked about. Hey, you got a phenomenal defense. Offense is not contributing, and you got a 6-6 season. You went 500. Imagine if that offense on the football side of things had a decent offense. You could have had a phenomenal season. You could have done it this year as well, too, on the football side of things. It's the same analogy on basketball. If you don't have the offense to complement a stellar defense, it's not going to lead you anywhere.
Well, and I think you and I know we got to get into our top of the hour here. I know you and I can't wave a magic wand and magically make all the bad go away.
No.
But there's more bad to come. I mean,
once you get into conference, it's going to get pretty rough.
You got 3 games here with Utah Valley,
the
Denver, Wolverines.
Yeah.
You got Denver, and then you got Nebraska Wesleyan, what are they, Prairie Dogs or something like that?
I don't know.
Anyway, my point is, Prairie Eagles, they could be 2-1. They could be, because this one's a toss-up tonight.
I think
they
Denver and Utah Valley, you're evenly matched. you should have the guaranteed win against Nebraska Wesleyan without a doubt. So again, these next 2 games are pretty much that toss-up of if you can pull off the win either here at home against Utah Valley or on the road against Denver, we'll see what happens. But either way, though, you're looking at a team that's going to finish 2019 and head into Mountain West Conference play well below 500.
See, and I'm sorry.
Possibly well below 500.
And I'm sorry, I'm not going to give it to you that they're going to beat Denver. They can't beat them there. Good teams have gone down to Denver.
Yeah.
And never came out of there with a win. So, I'm sitting here going, okay, you got tonight's game, and you go to Denver on the 21st, 28th, you will have Nebraska Wesleyan. So, the Prairie Wolves, that's what they are. I will give them that win. Tonight's a toss-up. Denver, I got an L by that. Okay? So, just say on the bad side, they lose tonight. This is going to be a 4-10 team when they get ready for Mountain West Conference play. Do you see a win in the Mountain West Conference? Don't tell me San Jose State now we could chalk it up as a W. I'm not sure.
I'm not going to, and I never did entering this season or at least seeing this preseason with San Jose State. Yes, they are 3-8, 0-2 as well. They're on the same pace with the Wyoming Cowboys, but yes, that is not a guaranteed win right now. Again, Cowboys proving, at least statistically, that they are the worst team in the Mountain West Conference. Without a doubt. Will they pick up a win? They'll probably get a win here or there. They'll catch a team. They'll catch an Air Force possibly, down there, or they might, surprise.
They might get Fresno.
They might surprise a Fresno without a doubt, or, some team like that at the AA. But, again, this is a team that's going to finish single-digit wins without a doubt. I think that's almost a guarantee at this point.
Yeah, there's not 10 wins in this Cowboys' future. No. And if they get 10 wins, hallelujah. That would be great. I would be happy to see
Pretty much the Cowboys' fate is they're going to be in that early play-in round for the Mountain West at least conference tournament happening in Las Vegas.
And I don't think they even survived that round either.
No.
And by the way, they got to go to San Jose State for the one time.
Yeah, San Jose does not have to come here, so again, it makes it that much more difficult.
All right, we got to move into hour number 2. We will be right back after this here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
As we are in hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, let's thank some great sponsors, Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, as well as downtown on KRAE Avenue, Pershing and Ridge, Del Range and Ridge, and on the north side on Yellowstone Road. We want to thank Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Again, our good friend AJ and the crew invite you to come on by, test drive, kick a few tires. Hey, weather's okay to do it now. So if you are looking for that last-minute Christmas present for the driveway, not under the tree, then shop Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you, Eastsiders. Catch them right there at the corner of College and Pershing. And, of course, the original location on Vanderheim. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range right across from Powers Field and Menards. Ray and Cindy's place, they are there 6 days a week. Well, they're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. So stop on in for one of 3 squares. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast, we always, they make some delicious breakfast over at Chick-fil-A. But also for dinner, and you don't have to, get out the craft. You can have their version of mac and cheese. A little crusty on top. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely delicious. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Open Monday through Saturday. Same location. Yeah, you won't miss Gene and the gang. They're right there across from Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And again, they sell a plethora of appliances and even TVs, too. That's why they're called B&B Appliance and TV. 714 Central Avenue in Cheyenne. Lennox Autobot. The main repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises. And again, serving our community needs for over 25 years. First Tier Bank. You can catch the crew over there Monday through Friday at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday again. And across the street, open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Sundays noon until 8. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. For almost 5 decades, Joe and the crew have been serving up delicious Paisan eats and treats. Mondello's Pizzeria. And at scoreboard time, it's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick.
NHL action for tonight, 3 games on the slate. We'll start with the New Jersey Devils at home hosting the Anaheim Ducks. You also, too, will see tonight. 6 o'clock is the start time for this one on NBC Sports Network. Chicago Blackhawks at home at the United Center will take on the Colorado Avalanche in the, at least, battle of the Central Division. And last but not least, the St. Louis Blues at home. They will host the Edmonton Oilers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight. And do want to remind folks, coming up tomorrow here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com. So where you can hear these contests, video live streaming, at least hopefully, as we've been at least in contact with the athletic director down there at Northridge. Video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. It will be Cheyenne Central taking on Loveland, the Indians versus the Indians, and Lady Indians versus Lady Indians. For the girls' side of things, they will start at 3 o'clock. Games happening at Northridge High School there in Greeley, Colorado. After that contest, boys action at 4:30 between Loveland and Cheyenne Central. So pregame, at least here on 1480 AM, about 2:40-ish, at least coming to you live there from Greeley, Colorado. So at least our first high school action. It is the Round Ball Invitational happening this weekend for Cheyenne Central.
So the opening tap tomorrow when it comes down and the Indians have it, I got to specify. Why don't I just, tomorrow, instead of saying the Indians, it's going to be Central versus Loveland, right? Loveland basketball, Central basketball.
That would work.
That's about the easiest way to do that one.
The colors are also, too, very similar as well. They're red and black.
Yeah. All right. Lucky me. Chris, I'm going to get you for that. All right, let's go to the NBA action for this evening. Bulls at the Wizards. Hornets and the Cavaliers will be in Cleveland tonight. Heat 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center. Raptors and the Pistons in the Little Caesars Arena. Pelicans and Timberwolves at the Target Center. Grizz Thunder at Chesapeake Energy Arena, OKC. Magic Nuggets in the can at the Pepsi Center. Denver favored by almost about 10 tonight. Celtics and the Mavericks at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Warriors will be on the road. They'll be in Portland at the Moda Center to take on the Portland Trailblazers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Coming up, we will be hearing from Cody Tucker around 4:30 today, founder of 7220sports.com. So we'll get his thoughts on UW happenings, and we will have more Wyoming Sports Talk today with Nick and myself coming up after this.
All right, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, whoa, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
No, we really haven't paid a lot of attention because it is wintertime, and I'm glad that we had Steve Wagner in yesterday from the Expedition League.
Before we move into that, at least as you're talking baseball findings, I want to keep at least pace on the basketball side of things. Do want to remind folks, since, again, we did not have the coaches show, at least LTC coaches show this week, again, as players and head coach, at least, again, we're going to allow them to enjoy their Christmas break as, again, their at least first half of the season has wrapped up at least this past weekend after at least the Golden Eagle Holiday Classic happening here in town. But do want to remind folks that LCCC Golden Eagles will be hosting a holiday basketball camp. It is for boys and girls grades 1 through 8. This is happening December 30th, 31st, and January 1st. Times are 9 a.m. to noon, happening over at the LCCC Rack or LCCC Gymnasium. The cost is $75 for this, at least, basketball camp. At least the summary for this holiday camp, as Coach Jason Ficca has talked with us many a time. But again, your kids will grow and learn as they practice ball handling, dribbling, and shooting. They will learn about teamwork and the value of hard work, all while having fun. Now, regarding at least, it is the 18th, coming up at least tomorrow, the 19th, December 19th, regarding that $75, at least all payments must be made in cash or check and will be accepted at the door of those dates. Again, the 30th, 31st, or January 1st. Checks, if you do write them, should be made out to, at least payable to LCCC Basketball. For more information, please call 307-778-1187 or email men's basketball coach Jason Ficca at jficca, F-I-C-C-A, at lccc.wy.edu. You can also register online at golccc.com.
All right, and again, as Nick mentioned,
those proceeds as well to go to LCCC, at least the men's basketball program for at least this holiday camp.
And you also mentioned no program, obviously, next week too, because of Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
All right, so I wanted to go into basketball, again, taking a look at the standings, but then I was like, the Nuggets are hanging in there, even though they had a little bad stretch. But I was looking here, and obviously the talk as we wrapped up yesterday about Mad Bum leaving the Giants.
Winter meetings are
over.
They're over.
But there's still a lot of free agents out there.
But the big ones are pretty much doled up, or at least they've kind of solidified, or at least some of the big names have been taken care of. Garrett Cole at least was officially announced yesterday. At least part of the whole festivities as now a New York Yankee. Madison Bumgarner as well too announced.
But
that
how bad
he
was
is
it
now
for Madison Bumgarner to leave the Giants, stay within the division, when he leaves for a 5-year deal at $85 million? That's 17. My math says $17 million a year. You mean the Giants weren't willing to pony up that kind of money?
You're talking about an organization and a GM that was basically saying, hey, we don't want you anymore. What can we get for you at this point in time? So I don't think monies was an issue for the Giants. It was a situation of, we don't want you anymore. Get out of here, Madison Bumgarner. Again, that's how the presser kind of sounded yesterday when they were introducing Madison as a now Arizona Diamondback, that it was pretty much of, I'm grateful for the fans. I love the city of San Francisco. But there's something going on in the organization since, again, the new faces, again, that new GM from the LA Dodgers, at least now, again, as Brian Sabian stepped away a couple seasons ago. It is a new look up front office for the Giants. It was kind of felt in that locker room, so to speak. And again, we saw the turmoil last year, especially with one Madison Bumgarner, where players stepped up and said, we're going to quit on you if you let this guy go. He's that much of a leader in this clubhouse. Or either you keep them on and we try to fight for something. Again, it's a Giants team that, made it interesting. We saw what happened, at least, after All-Star break. Going to Denver, taking care of business against the Rockies, had a bit of a run, at least a possibility to get into the wild card, and then kind of petered out. But, it is a situation that, we saw that entire year of will Madison Bumgarner be traded? Where will he go? Or what's going to happen after him postseason? That was from spring training to get-go.
Yeah, and now we have our answer. And again, he's in the division. That's what just shocks the hell out of me.
That makes it even more rough for Giants fans. Granted, you're going to see him a couple more times, or at least a few times, in a nostalgic kind of feeling.
It's 19. They play each other 19 times in the West.
So, you might see them once or twice.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him 3 times.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, but it is essentially an end of an era for Madison Bumgarner with the Giants.
Right.
Again, 3 championships, MVP, guy did it all with the Giants, and it's definitely sad to see him go to another team. But it's something that we as fans, MLB fans across the nation, knew that this was a great potential, that this was a for certain, at least, decision by the Giants front office. And it happened. And now he goes to an Arizona Diamondbacks team that is developing, an Arizona team that kind of at least fire-selled a few seasons ago. They were interesting last season. They had at least shot to get to the postseason. And we'll see what happens. Is Madison Bumgarner enough to at least vault Arizona back into contention with the Dodgers, or at least get back into the wild card? I think he can be. If he can get you about 13, 14, 15 wins, which he's capable of, and I still think he is at this point in time, as he kind of works on getting past those injuries that he had the past couple seasons, but he's still got the tools and the talent without a doubt.
Now let me ask you this question. He's leaving the Rockies. So you trade, I shouldn't say you trade, you let Mad Bum go and you sign Tyler Anderson, a lefty, who he's a starting pitcher. He was plagued by injuries this season.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants got him for a steal, $1.75 million.
All right.
Is a change of venue going to be what the doctor ordered? I'm not going to say he's the next Mad Bum.
Again,
but
it is. We know of Oracle Park of being that pitcher-friendly ballpark. Could it be that change of scenery that's nice compared to at least what he's seen on a consistent basis? Possibly. It is definitely a downgrade from what Madison Bumgarner, in my opinion, but we'll see what he does with at least now finding a new home. We'll see what happens, but it is definitely, in my opinion, or at least on paper, a definite downgrade of what you release to what you're getting.
Now, Anderson's 29, Mad Bum's 30, so still
1 year difference.
Yeah, technically they have about the same amount of years left. Of course, the big signing. And there was three of them during the winter meetings and during the free agent time, and I'm going to ask you which one is the most prominent. Yankees getting Garrett Cole for $324 million. Anthony Rendon signing his deal with the Angels, and I mean the Angels have really. Well, let's put it this way. Again, and I said this the other day. Albert Pujols was about 10 years younger. I would definitely put these guys in contention. So you got Rendon signing with the Angels. How many years now was that? 7 years, $245 million. And then you got Strasburg, who ended up staying home with the Nationals, same contract.
Rendon, I don't anticipate he's going to do much this season. I think he's going to fall on the same line of
going to the American League is not going to be good for him.
Well, I won't say that, but I think you're going to see what you saw this past season with the Bryce Harper, what we also too saw down in San Diego. You're signing these big guys, at least these big names that currently, for what they did of kind of flash in the pan seasons. Again, Anthony Rendon, he's been good. He had one great year, it seemed like, and that's about it. I think he'll struggle with the Angels for maybe 1 season, 2 seasons, and then probably go back to his good, at least kind of talent-wise. I really don't think
you don't take much stock in them.
No.
Now with the Nationals,
Garrett Cole, if you're talking about the three,
the big ticket one,
yeah, that was probably the big one. The Yankees again solidifying. They're losing CC Sabathia. You now pick up this guy again, a Yankees fan. He's going to put that much more passion in now being at least a starting pitcher for a franchise that he beloved at least as a kid.
Right.
Again, this is a team that is pitching at least a few pitching spots away from possibly going to the World Series, if not winning.
There's still another starter away, I would think.
Again, they can still pick up. But again, this addresses those needs, and again, it gets them that much closer to at least getting to that promised land that the Yankees are trying to get so desperately at this point in time.
I don't want to say I'm shocked. The Strasburg one. I mean, Strasburg had his first season really. I mean, the guy is, 31 years old, had his first season that was basically injury-free.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, the guy has been oft injured, or they even shut him down. When they were starting to make those early.
Yeah, we saw the playoff runs where yes, he was not a factor in a good amount of them. But again, you go off of what have you done for me recently in this day and age? Well, guess what? They got you a World Series. He brought you a World Series. He is your MVP. It is a situation that for Washington doesn't surprise me. Again, he is. Where Bryce Harper was kind of your face of the franchise, you might say that Steven Strasburg is now taking over that role of he is your face of the franchise.
Right.
Especially now with Rendon gone as well. He's the well-known name, without a doubt. It made sense.
You know, I mean, I'm looking at here. I mean, Cole Hamels to the Braves, 1 year, $18 million. Didi Gregorius, 1 year, $14 million to the Phils. I don't know who was a winner, who was a loser in the free agency.
I think, again, team right now, you go Arizona, I think, yes, without a doubt. Again, picking up Madison Bumgarner, that helps out a bit.
They also got Junior Guerrera, who was with the Brewers last year. It was the Brewers.
All right, anyways, but again, Arizona definitely won, and I think absolutely the New York Yankees won with picking up Gerrit Cole. I think that was for both teams where they desperately need at least a big name starting pitching. They got it, without a doubt. And again, those two players that still have a lot of years left, a lot of talent still in them, still a lot of stuff within them. Yeah, Arizona and New York, they came out big.
And speaking of Arizona, it's kind of ironic, too, because, and again, I told you this when we were doing sports talk or just in passing. Stephen Vogt, who was with the Giants last year, he signed a free agent contract with Arizona. So, obviously, Mad Bum's going to feel pretty comfortable knowing that Vogt's going to be down there, the guy that's caught him. But, and Vogt played with the Fort Collins Foxes. I can't believe he's 35 years old. I can't believe it's been about 15 years since we did Mountain Collegiate Baseball.
Yeah, it's been a long time before this station was ever owned by you at this point in time. But I
know where we were at back then.
But with Arizona, again, these were interesting moves. Did not anticipate Arizona was going to be the winner for Madison Bumgarner out of every team. Again, there were talks of he could have been a Dodger, could have gone to an East Coast team, could have gone to a contender, but it does bring up the question of as you look into the NL West, when is that Dodger bubble going to burst? And you wonder if it's coming very soon, where we're seeing this team have its issues. Again, it cruises through the regular season, but then postseason it just kind of falls flat year in and year out. You wonder as this team now ages, as we're seeing as well, too, again, some of those big names now being out for quite some time during the regular season with injuries, you wonder, is Arizona kind of seeing something in the water, so to speak, of that Dodger bubble is going to burst, and they need to take advantage of, or at least kind of solidify pieces now to take over that NL West.
Well, they did sign the kid out of Oakland. What's his name? Triana? Blake Triana?
Sure.
Dodgers did. 1 year, $10 million deal to, shore up some pitching. He's not a starting pitcher. I think he's relief. I think he was one of the big either setup guys or closers for the A's last season. So, I mean, that's the only deal that the Dodgers have done that I see here. The Phillies have been busy. Brewers have been busy. Braves, Reds, even the Red Sox have had. But, again, nothing of significance that they have done where they have, doled out a lot of money. The Twins.
Again, still time before spring training.
Oh, there's a boatload here, Nick, of free agents that have gone unsigned. Will Smith leaving the Giants.
Yeah.
I saw that one
Which, again, his name was tossed out a lot
in trade last year.
So, no surprise.
He goes to the Braves. 3 years, $39 million.
And Braves are pretty much showing of where they're not going after, at least,
they're not going after the farm.
The big name, so to speak, but it is at least for the Atlanta Braves. They are bolstering that team to at least make a decent run in the playoffs where, they felt the brunt of what happened last year with the Washington Nationals in their own division as they kind of crept up. But, that NL East is going to get that much more at least tough to win or at least find playoff positioning. With the Phillies, we'll see what happens. Phillies trying to bolster at least a lot of position. You got a lot of at least talented, players. We'll see what happens with the New York Mets. Mets, as they're trying to get back into playoff contention, they got some solid at least pieces around them. Miami, again, that is the question mark. You anticipate that they're going to be terrible again this season, but it is a Miami team that is looking towards at least the farm system and saying, hey, let's do it the old school way, and let's just develop from within, and we'll see if that kind of pays out for the Miami Marlins. But, that NL East this season is going to be that much more tougher, especially when you have the defending World Series champion.
Braves and the Phillies have been busy all along, and I think everybody waited to see what the Nats were going to do with Strasburg. But, you look at the Braves. They got the kid, the catcher from the Rays, Travis Denard. How do you say his name? D'Arnaud? Anyway, he's 30 years old. They got him for 2 years, $16 million. They signed Cole Hamels, and then they get Will Smith.
Again, Cole Hamels,
he's 35.
Cole Hamels, who is not the Philly Cole Hamels, but again, he's got some talent in. So again, nothing too impressive. Will Smith, who can be inconsistent. He had kind of the flash in the pan, good or great seasons of recent, but we'll see what happens of changing now another venue. Does that help or hurt Will Smith? We'll see.
You know, one name that I'm really surprised, and again, he's going to cost a lot of money, is Josh Donaldson, who had the 1 year with the Braves.
Yeah.
And right now, no takers on him.
Well, not yet. Again, there's still time. You wonder if teams are just kind of, letting Christmas go by. The new year gets at least settled. You now see what the aftermath is after the winter meetings, and then you kind of make those moves or at least be aggressive, come in 2020. Again, you still got time before pitchers and catchers report, and we saw even last-minute free agent signings, at least during spring training last season.
Right.
We'll see.
Actually,
there's someone that's going to be out there shopping for Josh Donaldson, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you were talking about the Dodgers. I was just looking at Rich Hill. He's still available. He's 39 this year. So
again, he's aging. Is that something that teams go?
Yeah, but is he?
I can find a younger talent or within to go.
Is he a 1 year dude? I don't know. I mean that
he might wait a while, and he might be a piece where St. Louis, a Washington, or some American League team that's still within it. Oh no, we lost a big name. Hey, Rich Hill, you got some talent with at least left. You got something still left in the tank. We'll sign you very quickly for at least possible help to a playoff push.
And there was also another one that had raised my eyebrow that came across, again, being Giants fans that we are. Kevin Pillar, Giants.
They basically said bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, I thought the guy did everything but, mow the lawn out there. I mean, the guy was
at this
fantastic.
Point with the Giants franchise. You don't know what this team is doing. It is the biggest question mark of, again, the reimagining, at least.
You can't reinvent the wheel.
That's what they're trying to.
Well,
it seems like.
And they've done that before in San Francisco.
You want to trust with this new GM, again, what he did with the L.A. Dodgers.
I don't trust anybody with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Nick, we were born to hate the Dodgers.
No. I'm just saying, you look at what he did for the Dodgers organization, of how successful they are, again, albeit without having any championships down there in Los Angeles, thankfully. But, it is something that you look at his past work. It was successful.
Yeah, but key work. How many championships have they had under this cat?
0.
How many do they have under Sabian?
3.
Sabi. 3.
Well, again, you don't have him anymore. He retired. He's gone.
I understand that, but I'm just saying. But you said the key word. He hasn't had any championships to brag about. All right, we are going to take a timeout. I do believe we're going to have Cody Tucker coming up here in a little bit, founder of 7220sports.com, and we're back after this here on 1480 KRAE. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field.
plan is now available at the tip of your fingers. Cheyenne Regional Medical Group is now offering Smart Exam, which puts our providers as close as your nearest smartphone or computer. There's no need to sit in a waiting room. Just answer simple questions about your non-emergent symptoms, and we will give you your treatment plan and prescription. This service is only available to our current adult CRMG patients who currently have MyChart accounts. To access Smart Exam, visit us at cheyenneregional.org/smartexam. Healthcare anywhere.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass.
Many years ago. Join us for the Golden Age of Radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny skies with highs around 47 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 18. On Thursday, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 39, and on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Cody Tucker, founder of 7220sports.com.
As he's busy right now with, again, National Signing Day with the Wyoming Cowboys, as they've been busy throughout today, also too getting set up for, again, as we mentioned, Cowboy basketball as they play host to Utah Valley coming up tonight. So he is over in Laramie right now. Again, hopefully we will be able to talk with at least Cody Tucker here very shortly. Do want to at least mention as something that was passed along, at least on the social media side, something that does pertain for at least a player that we've recently saw with LCCC men's basketball who's doing pretty well for himself at Fairfield University.
Landon Talaferro.
Again, senior, at least Landon Talaferro. Looking at least some interesting stats. And again, we knew that he was a top-level talent, guy that we saw at least be at the top of the heap for three-pointers made in JUCO with LCCC basketball. But right now for Landon Talaferro, as what he's doing at Fairfield University, he leads the MAAC, at least I do believe Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. But either way, he does at least lead that conference. He ranks 15th nationally with 3.44 three-pointers per game. He is third in the MAAC with .425 three-point percentage. He is the only player in the nation with 10 made three-pointers in a game against a D1 opponent. So, again, congratulations to Landon Talaferro, who's making big waves in D1, at least part of the Fairfield Stags. Again, former LCCC product, at least doing special things, at least post-LCCC.
Well, that's good. And, again, we watched him bang home quite a few trifectas in his career over at LCCC.
You wonder if he could have been a great product for one head coach, Alan Edwards, at University of Wyoming.
You're throwing out the speculations again. Nick, you and myself and all of our travels last year and me the year before.
It begs the question where, again, for the University of Wyoming, for CSU, for a lot of these, mid-major, at least schools, or again, teams that are not at the heap of, at least the top of, of their conferences, like what we're seeing with the San Diego State, UNLV, New Mexico, that are well known for at least being basketball powerhouses, you wonder for the University of Wyoming, for a lot of these teams, why not go the JUCO routes with players that have been through, at least been tested? Again, they're away from high school where they're used to different people, they're used to different systems, taking on bigger and stronger and faster opponents,
right,
and also to getting adjusted to those long road trips, or at least, again, taking on different opponents that are not just in-state.
And long road trips entail bus rides, not flying on chartered jets.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, again, they've been through the, at least, trials and
the wars.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, for the University of Wyoming and for a lot of these, at least, regional schools, at least D1's, at least, side of things, we just look here in Region 9, but again, you got other regions here in Division I NJCAA. You look to the state of Utah, the state of Idaho with the, again, College of Southern Idaho, Snow College out there in Utah. Here in the state of Wyoming with, LCCC with Western Wyoming right now of what they're doing on the men's side of things. Casper, Gillette, Sheridan.
Eastern at Torrington.
You got a nationally ranked Otero team just down south in La Junta. You look at Northeastern, Western Nebraska. That is also two very talented on the Cougar side of things. You got a lot of untapped potential here that it's amazing that the University of Wyoming, CSU, granted we talked with, at least yesterday with Kevin Lytle, saying that, with Coach at least Medved, that he does entertain that. He does try to at least add some of those local, at least, products from these JUCOs to his team. But it is something where, at least to avoid the youth and inexperience of teams, again, as even Troy kind of mentioned with the University of Wyoming, why not avoid that altogether and just go, hey, you know what you're doing. You play college basketball. How about stepping up the next level?
And we saw this student-athlete last year at West Nebraska, Jeremy Green. And he originally had committed to Nebraska. Well, they got rid of the coach. So he backed off a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why at that time, I'd been calling him every night.
Yeah.
Come on over. Let's bring you over for a visit, yada, yada. I mean, he eventually did go to Nebraska. They made him an offer he couldn't refuse. But once you could find that he didn't really decommit, he just kind of backed off. And again, we're talking about guys that sign national letters of intent. They can back away from that. It's not like they're, hey, if he signs with someone else, poo-poo on him.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really have to go here. This is my 1A choice right now.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, and you look here today at going back to what you were saying here with our coaches in this part of the world. We had them on here and even on our show for the basketball games. Their plan, Jason Ficca, and Dwayne Salisbury, along with Brian Ortmeyer and Danelle Ronaldo, they're going out catching tournaments.
Yeah.
In Colorado, which features Wyoming teams. And they're going to catch some Wyoming basketball, which features a lot of Wyoming teams. So they're going to get a look at a lot of, again, it's only the third, fourth game of the season for a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
But they're already going out there, and they already have needs that they want to address for the next season.
Well, again, recruiting is 365, 24/7. It is something that you got to constantly think about it. We know that from, if it is basketball, football, baseball, it is a consistent thing. But yes, as JUCOs are on it, again, University of Wyoming, without a doubt, is also too on recruiting of looking at at least those same prospects or at least products. Infamously, where we look at what happened with the LCCC this past at least offseason, signing one Eric Oliver. Again, rumors were circulating with Eric Oliver that he could have been
5 different places.
He could have gone to a couple D1 schools without a doubt and just kind of walked on, or at least been a freshman sitting on the bench. But instead, Jason Ficca at least worked his magic, convinced him to come to LCCC, and now is at least starting off his college career here in town.
And at the time that they signed Oliver, they still had Tyrese Potoma. They still had Applegren. These guys, if you remember, guys were late signers to go elsewhere. Cleveland State and in Florida.
Wofford,
excuse me. So, again, and then Jason Ficca had to scramble to get teams and try to build it around Oliver.
Yeah.
And again, you still had Kyle Cabbs, you still had Courtney Dean, you still had Mateo Zofko. But, you lost 2 of your prime pieces from last year.
Which has been a consistent theme with LCCC, and again, that's what you want, though. Again, Jason Fick
He's sending them off to the next
say,
level.
yeah, this is what I'm paid for. This is what I'm supposed to do outside of the wins and losses. But again, this is development. It is kind of developmental, at least time for a lot of these student athletes to again go to that bigger and better, at least next level.
And again, I go back 2 seasons ago with Zaire Martin. Again, my opinion, one of the best point guards I had ever seen. And he could do it all.
Northern Illinois has high hopes on him.
Yeah, but he's not playing. And
also, too, they had a point guard, or at least they had a few others in front of them that were NBA
now the
prospects.
coach's son is playing.
Yeah.
So there's another problem. But the point is, like with Zaire, hey, and anybody that's going to LCCC or Eastern, whatever the case may be, you want to do, if you do your 2 years there, you get your Associate of Arts or your associate's degree. Then you go on to your next step, which would be your 4-year school. Hopefully it's Division I.
Yeah.
Well, when Division I comes knocking and you're eligible after your first season as a freshman, boy, you'd be foolish not to take that opportunity, would you?
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, Jason Fick is not going to sit there and beg him to stay. I mean, it's not his job. His job is to move him to the next level. The next level.
Yeah, without a doubt, which he's been successful off. Again, we go into his office and you see he's got a big old board of, hey, this product has gone here, this guy has gone here, he's moved on to this. Again, it's a full range of national players and, again, international players as well, too, that have moved on to the next level.
Do you look at the Pronghorns up in Gillette? Everybody coming back's a sophomore. They didn't move anybody.
Yeah.
They were all freshmen last year. We watched them play. They weren't bad. But they didn't go. They're all back with Gillette,
and they've been doing great this year.
So you look at
Otero's got the sophomores.
Otero's got the sophomores. We saw those guys as
Western
freshmen.
Wyoming retained the sophomores. And again, they've done at least phenomenal things. Sheridan at least has a few sophomores returning.
And a lot of these schools don't play their freshmen. The freshman year is kind of the learning year.
Yeah.
You have to be a really phenomenal freshman, especially in those Southern Region 9 teams that we've seen. But most of their lineups or starters are sophomores.
Well, it's something we've talked, whether it is on the men's side of things or at least on the women's side of things with Coach Ortmeyer or Coach Ficka. It's a situation of with those freshmen, you're trying to get them out of those bad habits that they learned in high school from across the nation or across the world, whatever it may be. You're trying to teach them, this is how we do it in the college side of things.
And those guys that are sophomores this year learned their lessons last year. Did they get some minutes in? Yeah, some of them did.
Well, a good amount did.
So
without a doubt.
But they stepped into the starting lineup this year, and they already know what the drill is.
Yeah.
So again, here at LCCC, Coach Ficka has to go back to teaching, as he said, and he said this on our post-game show Friday night. He and Coach Salisbury, when they come back after the Christmas break, they have to be more teachers. And what they've been doing is a lot of 5-on-5, 4-on-4, that type of deal. Now
it's almost like you got to go back to basic fundamentals.
And do a lot of individual type of work.
Yeah.
So, and again.
Address needs of, again, well, you're already good at rebounding. We need to work on this with you and all that, kind of specialize, at least that training.
And no one's happy with the 2-11 record right now. I guarantee you. And the coaching staff's not happy. But also, too, they can't chuck three-pointers, Nick. They can draw the play up, and you and myself, and even when I was there with Chris this weekend, a lot of open shots, they can't get the biscuit to go in the basket. We can't diagram that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we do need to take a timeout. I'm venturing to say that we probably won't have Cody.
We'll try him again, or at least call him during the break to see what happens.
We'll take a quick timeout. We'll try Cody Tucker one more time. If not, we'll put a fork in him. He's done. All right, we're back after this.
Season's greetings from La Osteria Mondello. First and most importantly, thank you for your past and present patronage.
Upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Welcome to the biggest thing in tacos since tacos. Introducing the Taco Perfecto from Taco John's. That's right, we said it. Perfecto.
And deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny skies with highs around 47 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 18. On Thursday, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 39. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Hey, I want to mention today is the National Letter of Intent Early Signing Day. It starts today, concludes on Friday. In addition to the early signing period for football, which ends on Friday the 20th, there's a mid-year JC transfer signing periods from December 18th through Wednesday, January 15th of 2020, and the regular signing period for football from Wednesday the 5th through April 1st. That brings on our next guest, who is in Laramie. I do believe he's still in Laramie. Cody Tucker, founder of 7220sports.com, and the Wyoming Cowboys got some papers with ink on it today saying, we might want to play football here.
Yeah, they sure did, man. They beefed up quite a bit. A lot of signings on the offensive line and the defensive line. Just walked out of Craig Bull's press conference and over here watching practice right now. So, good day. Bull called it the best signing class he's ever had.
What you get is big words, at least for Craig Bull to say that, and we'll see how that pays off in years to come if, all these prospects do at least retain with the University of Wyoming. But, as we break down at least the signing day, obviously, again, still at least days to go for this, for the University of Wyoming and the Wyoming Cowboys. But noticeably that we've talked about, especially as we've had our arguments of the offense, so far in National Signing Day, there have been no wide receivers been signed by the Wyoming Cowboys. Do you foresee that being an issue, at least for you as you're analyzing it, Cody, or is it something that Craig Bull is going to get addressed here in the next couple days?
I mean, come on, fellas. Does this team even need wide receivers?
It's not an RPO team, that's for sure.
No, Coach Bull did discuss that. He said that that's absolutely something that they want to address here shortly. Obviously, the next signing period's in February, and I heard you alluding to junior college. That's obviously not a route Bull likes to go, but he did find Rocket Ishmael that way. He did find he's found a few guys that way. Not many, but a few. So he did mention that, and the question I had was about linebackers. They're losing Cash Malawia. They're losing Logan Wilson. They did recruit a guy named Brent Vanderveen out of Washington, but he's kind of a smaller guy, so he's not probably a guy who's going to step in right away. I think the Cowboys definitely need to address that, and Bull said they're going to at least go after one more linebacker.
And Craig Bull, who is, as we saw from at least this year's team, again, very Wyoming-centric, or at least a lot of Wyoming products, part of the National Signing Day, a player that we've seen in Class 4A that is now joining with the Wyoming Cowboys, coming out of Thunder Basin High School. That'd be one Caleb Driscoll, who at least announced and it did sign with the Wyoming Cowboys. So at least keeping that theme of at least having one at least local product being a part of the Cowboys football program.
Yeah, and he said that he's very proud to say that, all 7 recruiting classes he's had has included a Cowboy State native. So And, speaking of linebackers, there's Caleb Driscoll, who had a great year, obviously Defensive Player of the Year in the state. Casper Star Tribune, Super 25 team, all that good stuff. They are asking him to play fullback, however. He does. I talked to him last week. He absolutely is still very much interested in linebacker, but at this point, he said they see him playing fullback. And, of course, Wyoming is one of the only schools that really utilizes a fullback anymore. So and he said that was the big reason why he came to Wyoming is because they do utilize that position. So he is definitely not opposed to going to linebacker. I think he likes the idea of replacing a Logan Wilson possibly, but he said his plans are to train as a fullback all offseason.
All right, so we have one quarterback that's departing the program, or has put in to depart the program, and we see that one quarterback says, yeah, I'd like to give it a shot, and that would be Gavin Bierup. He's a 3-star pro-style quarterback that accounted for 17 total touchdowns as a senior. That doesn't tell me he threw 17 touchdowns, so what do we know about Gavin Bierup?
Well, Coach is high on him, that's for sure. I didn't think the numbers were that eye-popping, but they said that they were on him from the start. They really like his size. He compared him size-wise to Josh Allen and Carson Wentz and Sean Chambers and said they like to have those big athletic guys. So I think they targeted him really early, and they like Gavin, and they like his arm strength and his accuracy. So they're very comfortable with that.
So let's break down again where we have the signings from. We got the signing here out of Wyoming. We went to the left coast again. We go into Colorado. We go into Nebraska. Where are some other places that we headed to this time to get some players?
Well, Washington, they pulled one out of Washington, a couple out of Texas. A couple of nice pickups there out of the Houston area. One, I wouldn't even dare to try and pronounce his name. They call him Double O. So he
Nuafia? Nuafia Tulifano?
No, his name starts with an O, out of Texas. He's a defensive end linebacker hybrid. But he's a guy that I asked Coach if he would compare him to Carl Granderson, and he said, yeah, to a degree, but he would also say that this guy's way ahead of Carl. And he was kind of an off-the-radar kind of guy. He's about 6'2", 225, but he runs a sub-4 540, and, he thinks he could be like a Carl Granderson type, just a lot faster and a lot more explosive. So Texas has been good to the Cowboys for the last couple of years. They also went into Illinois. Still waiting on a couple of guys from Illinois. Still waiting on one, Chase Smith, who got approached by Purdue last night and Wazoo this morning. He was going to sign with the Cowboys today, we all thought, but he has not. So they have been in the Midwest, but Coach really pointed out that the successful Cowboys teams under Paul Roach and Joe Tiller and guys like that, they really went into Colorado and owned Colorado. And he also added that the players they have on this roster from Colorado really helped that recruiting process as well.
And again, Colorado is going to get that much more difficult to at least recruit out of, especially where you saw with UNC picking up the new, at least face of the new head coach, Ed McCaffrey. We'll see what happens with, Steve Adazio, who says, yes, we're going to be aggressive down there in the state of Colorado, and also, too, again, with the CU Buffs who play in the Pac-12. So, again, for Craig Bull, at least get down there to Colorado, good to see that they're still getting some products up there. But, as we move away from National Signing Day, and again, as Craig Bull talked about, at least his best class that he's ever at least recruited and scouted and signed for the Wyoming Cowboys. Let's talk about this current group that is also continuing to play football here in the month of December, and that is at least heading down to Tucson, Arizona to get set for the Arizona Bowl as they will take on Georgia State. Now, Cody, we've had our thoughts about this bowl game, and we've kind of been a little negative, at least regarding it, looking at the matchups.
It's a junk bowl.
It's a junk bowl without a doubt, and it shows with the payouts. But you, Cody, as a lifetime-long fan, a diehard fan with the Wyoming Cowboys, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys getting this invite and the matchup with Georgia State?
Well, obviously Georgia State's not the sexiest pick, and back in the fan days, of course, it was great to see UCLA and bigger schools like that, Oklahoma State, Iowa, in the Holiday Bowl. But at this point, especially covering this team now, it's going to be kind of nice just to, first of all, Tucson's a great place, and that'll be a nice place to go. And second of all, that was a pretty nasty taste in their mouth that they got in Colorado Springs with that loss to Air Force where they weren't even able to put it in the end zone. And for the first time really all year, they weren't able to impose their will or do what they wanted on offense whatsoever. So no running, no nothing. So I know this offensive line, for one, talking to these guys, they're ready to get out there and hammer again. And the defense actually feels like they were exploited in a couple of ways. So they're ready to get out there and just play again. And, it's really just these bowl games they're great and all, but they're just, they're so downplayed compared to, or so, they're like a glorified scrimmage. And even coach says it's a way for these guys to celebrate their season and celebrate the season with the fans. And, you guys know it used to be way harder to get into bowl games, but it's another game, it's another chance, and more importantly, it's 15 more practices.
Well, the last two trips down to Tucson was against the Cal Bears and against Kansas State in the Copper Bowl. So, again, Tucson, great hosts. I'm not going to take anything away from the city of Tucson. Of course, like you said, the weather's going to be rather nice at the end of December. But, I look back at the possible bowls that the Cowboys could have gone to, and let me ask you this question just real candidly here. If the Cowboys would have beat Air Force, would they have been a good candidate for that Cheez-It Bowl?
Yeah.
Speculation.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Air Force still would have finished with a better record, obviously. And, they just look at so many weird different things, like, do they want a Utah team playing in Las Vegas where nobody partakes? Is there an Air Force base nearby for Air Force? Just weird thing. So I don't even know that it matters anymore. You know what I mean? I guess Vegas has the first pick, so Vegas is maybe the one you want to get to because they can pick first out of the Mountain West. But obviously that's going away next year. I don't even know if it matters anymore, guys. If you can't get into one of the big bowls, it kind of just seems like a crapshoot in one of those deals where people around here are saying at least we're not in Boise.
Yeah, without a doubt, but it is kind of, as the amount of bowls kind of grow in NCAA and Division I, at least on the FBS level, kind of feels like more of a participation bowl. It is, again, as we saw with the Arizona Bowl, again, the lowest payout before the Bahamas Bowl, at least with that, at least getting it underway, at least I do believe here December 20th. Now, Cody, I want to get away from the University of Wyoming, but it does regard the Cowboys, at least football in future seasons, and let's move south to Fort Collins and the new, at least, announcement of new head coach for the CSU Rams of Steve Adazio. What were your takeaways or your thoughts on that kind of questionable hire down there by the CSU Rams?
Boy, it was shocking. I can't lie, guys. I was kind of thinking, man, they're going to have to land somebody sexy because their dwindling fan base is not thrilled. And I thought that was a really gutsy hire by Joe Parker because obviously he didn't put a lot of care into what the fans were going to think. He stuck to his bottom line and wanted this and wanted that and integrity and all that stuff. Obviously Adazio is a 500 coach. And, I know CSU fans weren't thrilled with that, but I think, he's saying all the right things. It's nice to see him manufacturing the rivalry again with Wyoming, trying to, instill that into his players. And, I think he's saying all the right things and doing the right things, but he's never been able to really prove it on a consistent level. So, and plus he's never coached west of the Mississippi before. So it's kind of, it was really an odd hire. I thought it was a joke at first that a Wyoming Twitter person was just throwing it out there. So I didn't expect that. I expected the cat out of Ohio State, the former running back for the Rams. I thought that was a slam dunk hire that would have made the fans absolutely thrilled. But, they went out on a limb, I'd say, to say the least. And, and maybe it's a cost type of thing as well. They had a lot of money tied up into Mike Bobo, and I bet they'll be a little more careful about their next extension.
One final thought here, and I know we got to let you go because we're getting right up at the top of the hour. Real quick, I know the answer to this question, Cody, but it's National Letter of Intent. It's signing day, but not necessarily these guys will be at fall camp.
Yeah,
they do have that back out clause, I guess.
Yeah, and the kind of guys that bowl recruits, I wouldn't expect any holdouts on that because they look for that certain kind of guy. They haven't gotten away from that, so might not be the most talented guy, might be somebody you need to shape and mold once they get here, but they all seem to have that same state of mind. So I don't think Bowles expecting anything like that. He's actually, in fact, expecting another signing as early as tomorrow. He kept alluding to number 19 and signing number 19, and somebody asked him about the need for an offensive tackle, and he kind of gave you the look like, yes, it's an offensive tackle on the way. So that'll be 5 offensive linemen coming in this group alone. So obviously I'm speculating, but I think it's pretty safe to say.
All right, Cody. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it, and we will catch up with you down the road.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
All righty, Cody Tucker, founder of 7220sports.com. Hey, coming up on our Golden Age of Radio Theater.